Welcome to the Libertyville Business Show. I'm Jim Connell. This is Andy Herman. I'm with Craftsman Media. Andy is with At Properties. And there's one topic that Andy wants to talk about today, and that is Brick and Mortar, the co-working space that was approved by the village last night. So what are you thinking?
Good job saying brick and mortar. I've been saying bricks and mortar the Chicago way.
Yeah.
Costco's and Jewel's. I am absolutely ecstatic and grateful that brick and mortar was approved last night. The vote was 4-2, so thank you. I think this is a really great concept. I actually went to their Park Ridge location. I had a tour with one of the owners, and the facility was everything I hoped it would be and more. It blended right in nicely with downtown Park Ridge. Parking was not an issue. Kind of a coffee shop on steroids, is that okay to say? For the business person, I mean, it has private offices, amenities. I really believe it's going to be wildly successful, not just for Libertyville residents, but for Lake County. I think everyone will go there. I don't think it's industry specific. I think it will play to a lot of different professions and trades. And this is a welcome addition to a building that has been sitting empty and to me seems like it had a real difficult time finding someone to take the space. So it's really exciting.
I would agree. The text amendment that was drafted, I think, was strong, gives the village some control over, I think my term was slippery slope. Yep. So I think that was eliminated, and I'm all for it. And I was happy to see it be approved. It was great. There were a few thoughts off the top of my head. One is, I agree with you. I did go to Park Ridge. I think I mentioned that in the past. Just really, really nice design.
Yes.
Leather chairs, really strong, beautiful wood tables. Flooring was cool. A lot of glass
art.
It just has a really, really nice vibe to it, and I think that space that they're going to be going into really lends itself to being a beautiful space.
Absolutely.
I will be working out of there. I don't know how long I'll be in this office, but I could see myself, running out the lease here and then just using a place like Brick and Mortar. As you can see, I've been doing some painting, so I do my hobbies in here as well. But I think it's great. Grace Lake downtown is getting a similar co-working space.
That's what I heard.
The Mundelein co-working space that has been very successful is moving to downtown Grays Lake. So I read about that in the paper. So these things are popping up. I think it's an amenity that's needed. And overall, I'm really happy to see it. I just want to add one more thing. In terms of the village, putting my trustee cap on, so to speak, there were a lot of people voicing their opinion for no last night, but there were even more people coming to the meeting to voice their opinion for yes. Some of them are Main Street business owners. John Durning was there, Pizzeria DeVille. Sarah and Junior from O'Toole's were there. They voiced their support for it, and as well as many others. And I just gotta say, as a trustee, I can't stress this enough. If you see something on the agenda that you like, don't assume that it's gonna go through. Please come and show your support and voice your support for the things that you want, because this little case study, if you will, was really just a good little case study of most of the time people who support things, they might assume, and I know I'm guilty of this before I was a trustee, is they're smart people,
they'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out, and it doesn't always go your way. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
And a lot of people show up for no.
Everybody shows up for no.
Nobody shows up for yes. And in fact, we had a tally. Trustee Love kept a tally. 78% of the people who showed up for yes.
Yeah.
So it was,
which is very unusual.
right. The engagement was great, whether
Yeah.
you were for or against. The fact that people showed up to the meeting and stepped up and said, I either like it or I don't, and these are the reasons why. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought it was great. It was great. Really happy to see him come into town.
Jim, one thing that you had mentioned in your remarks is you had lend kind of a welcoming, as we all did, and said, hey, I would like to help you guys transition to the community. Can you kind of share some thoughts on what that looks like, or kind of what, maybe riff on some ideas that you might have?
Yeah, well, what I really wanted them to hear from me is that I told them, I said, I want to go on record and make a commitment to you guys that whatever I can do to help. Not sure what that looks like. I'll share my 2 ideas off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
One is, I think one of the things I've been thinking about a lot lately are the retailers. Not so much the restaurants. I think about them too, but retailers downtown. We've got Hawthorne coming. They have almost 300,000 square footage of small shop retailing that's going to be going into the new Hawthorne Row. There's a lot I could talk about on that, which I'm not going to.
It's a whole other show.
Yeah, that's
Hawthorne 2.0.
We should do one on that.
We should.
Yeah. So the competition is stiff around us, and we're still not completely out. Sarah McKinnon from O'Toole's even kind of spoke to the fact that retailers and restaurants are far from being out of the woods from COVID, right? So 2 ideas that I had. One was, and these are pretty basic, but one was I thought maybe I could sort of, for lack of a better term, broker a deal or talk to the owners of Brick and Mortar. I would love to see if within their design, they would be willing to just, I don't know how to put it, but give me a couple shelves, give me 3 shelves, place 3 shelves, that fit within the design, maybe a high traffic area, wherever that might be within their space. Could you build 3 shelves and then make some introductions to the retailers? I'll give you an example. Shelly over at Allure, who I love Shelly. She's a nice lady, has a wonderful business. Then go to Shelly and say, Shelly, could you sell hair products and makeup or whatever, and just fill the shelf tastefully with your products, and for the month of June or something, and highlight them. Best case scenario would be that people could buy it right off the shelf. That's a little bit easier said than done when you get POS involved and all that. But second best, and I think equally as well, put a tasteful sign with their logo on it and say, if you like these products, check out Allure Salon. They do hair and, all the things that they do. And it could just be a little commercial there. So, I don't know if they'll bite on that, but I'd love to see something like that to pull in the street into the space. Because I think they're going to attract people from other areas.
For sure they will.
I may have a meeting with someone who lives in Wilmette, and the Wilmette person comes here. Let's expose them to some of the cool shops that we have, and they don't have to leave the space. That's number 1. Number 2, another basic is, either right when they open or maybe even a preview, I'll pop for the bagels and coffee and invite, do a nice invitation to all the retailers in town and just say, come over and see the place. And I'm sure they probably have their own ideas, but if I can be helpful to be a catalyst for that, I would love to, I'd be honored to try and help, build those relationships.
Yeah, no, that's great. Really, really kind of you and good stuff. One of the things that was talked about last night, which I didn't articulate it through my thoughts, the mental health component of this, where people struggle at home a little bit with maybe loneliness or a pinch of depression, and I am no psychologist at all, it's just stuff I hear and read. But how about the idea of not only going to a cooperative workspace, but then, especially with weather permitting, because our downtown is so beautiful and so walkable, if you get the alert on your Apple Watch, if you happen to wear one, go and take a lap. You know? And don't live this sedentary life where it's both physical and mental, and then you can walk and then check out one of the shops, and then obviously go have lunch, you know, at one of our restaurants. So I think this is a big win-win. Kind of speaking to your point, one of the things they had at the Park Ridge location, they have cold brew on tap.
Yeah.
So then we could certainly use one of our local coffee shops for that. And then they have amenities, they have sodas, they have beers that you can purchase, and we could stock everything. They could stock everything with our local restaurants and what they're offering. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. And then the exterior of the building, I was very impressed with too. So this is just good all the way around. Time will tell. There are no guarantees in this world, right? There's one that's going to happen to all of us, but odds are this is positioned well for success, and I think the other shops and restaurants will benefit from it. So this was good. Thank you, and I look forward to them coming.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for them to start seeing some activity in that building, in that space, and watch, you know, maybe through the window. If they don't wrap it up, they probably will, but I'm anxious for it. They're two very nice guys.
Yeah, great guys.
I got the tour as well, and we'll see where it goes. You know, like you said, there's no guarantees, but the timing seems to be very good, and we certainly realize, you know, based on all the articles and talk and everything, you know, Pam Hume, I think, was who was the one that said that she was there, former Main Street executive director. She was for it, supporting it, which I thought was cool. But she said something that kind of struck, and she said she was picking somebody up, or she was at the Metro. And she kind of looked around. It was, you know, middle of the day on a weekday, and she's like, "Where is everybody?" And she kind of said, "Well, they're all at home working."
Right.
You know, which is so true.
I mean, it's an ecosystem.
Totally.
You have to get. This is just me riffing on this, but you've got to get the people to come back to the town centers to go back to work, so then they can actually shop and dine, and it's all the big wheel that keeps spinning around. So, exciting news. Glad to bring it to you. That's really all I have. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I did see one thing that was in our packet. It just sounds exciting. Yo Fruit and the shoe repair place. That is going to be one restaurant, and I saw the signage because they were getting approval or whatever for the signage, and it's called Singh's Kitchen, SINGH''S.
Okay.
Singh's Kitchen, and the rumor I'm hearing is Indian cuisine.
Oh, great.
Really, I think I heard, you know, sort of chef-driven kind of place. So I'm anxious to see what it really is. And I'm anxious to see that space full. And, you know, I don't think we have a lot of the Indian restaurants around.
No.
So great way to mix it up.
For sure.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
That's all
Excited for that to come. Okay, well, for Jim Connell, I'm Andy Herman. Wishing you a happy 4th of July. Stay safe. Celebrate our independence, and we will be coming back to you soon with a new local topic as they develop, and we'll fact check everything and discuss and go from there.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Have a great 4th.
Thanks.